least 10 people have died in landslides in southeastern Bangladesh triggered by heavy monsoon rains. Most were Rohingya refugees from Myanmar living in crowded camps in Cox's Bazar. More than 1 million people live in those camps, mostly in shacks made of bamboo and plastic sheets. The heavy rain is expected to continue for several days.
Without the official Hajj visa, hoping to catch the Hajj season, those people, they were not catered for properly. They did not have proper medical services, air-conditioned tents, hygiene kit, and all the stuff that the official Hajj convoy enjoys. And perhaps this kind of explains why the death toll is exceptionally high.
And we're tracking the extreme heat in the US as well, and it has led to wildfires and record-breaking temperatures across the country. Authorities in New Mexico say more than 7,000 people had to be evacuated in one town after homes and buildings were destroyed by fires. And then in the Northeast, more than 70 million Americans remain under heat alerts. Will Grant reports from California.
Awe-inspiring but deadly. A towering wall of flames and heat bearing down on the town of Ruidoso in New Mexico has overwhelmed local fire crews and forced residents to flee. Most just thankful to leave with their lives, but shaken. Frank and Connie Loya, both 83, are sheltering in an evacuation centre, lucky to have made it out at all.
We could see the smoke change, and we were engulfed in smoke. That scared me to death.
I don't know whether we're going to have a home. There are several people in that area just above us that lost their home.
In California, these are now all too familiar scenes. Hillsides ablaze, thousands of hectares lost as tinder-dry brush catches alight, and firefighters struggling to bring around a dozen separate blazes under control.
It is devastating, especially when you get these wind-driven fires and you have all this unburnt fuel combined with low relative humidity. It can create massive damage.
As Californians endure another season of rampant wildfires, warnings over extreme weather are in place across the country, from heat waves in the Northeast to a tropical storm in Texas, a nation experiencing the real-time effects of climate change. And this is just the start. Experts say this has been an unusually early and aggressive fire season, with several months of hot, dry weather ahead. The contrast with the scene in Texas couldn't be starker. The first tropical storm of the hurricane season in the Gulf of Mexico has caused flooding in Galveston, as well as in Mexico itself, as North America braces itself for more extreme weather to come.
Well, India is also suffering a brutal heat wave, with temperatures soaring above 40 degrees Celsius in the north of the country.
Let's get more with our South Asia correspondent Samira Hussain, who's in the capital, Delhi. Samira, morning to you, hello to you. You know, it looks wonderful where you are, but it's simply too hot and it becomes dangerous, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, right now it's a balmy 36 degrees Celsius here in the capital of New Delhi, and it's only about 10:45 in the morning. So as the day progresses, it's going to get hotter and hotter. In fact, on average, here in the capital of New Delhi, we've seen that the temperatures have been about 6 to 8 degrees Celsius warmer than they normally are for this time of year. And that's and there's been record-breaking temperatures. In fact, last night was one of the hottest nights seen on record for several years. And what that tells you is that even when you see these peak temperatures during the day, you don't get that kind of respite in the evening. Now, it is monsoon season, and so it's starting in some parts of the country. But, you know, according to officials, actually the monsoon season hasn't been very good so far, about 20% less rain than usual. And remember, when the temperatures are so hot, the ground is so dry, when it does rain, well, then there's a lot of worry about flooding. But the heat itself, even in the capital of New Delhi, is having such an impact on so many people, especially those that are working outside, day laborers, migrant laborers who depend on their wages by working outside in construction. In fact, I was at a government hospital yesterday, and even yesterday they said in that day they've had 5 deaths relating to heat stroke.